What's up, beautiful people, and welcome to another episode of Don't Keep Up With the Joneses. 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 What's up, beautiful people, to another episode of the Jones Family Channel. It's me, Rickey Jones Jr., and we also have the also lovely
Chrystle Jones
back again for another video. And man, I feel like it's been a while since we had the opportunity to talk to you all. But at the end of the day, we're gonna have fun with this video because we were sent an email, which I definitely love getting emails from you all, as well as reading the comments in the comment section. However, this email was so rewarding, and I was like, man, it will be great to be able to talk through the answers to the questions within this email, but then also give us the opportunity to be like travel guides. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think it's fun.
Fun times, good times.
I think it's fun, and I think it's fun because Chrystle loves like planning trips and things. So like, if there's a family vacation or a vacation between the two of us, it's her that does it, and it's me that get to enjoy the fruits of it. And so, I
feel like we need to enjoy some fruits real soon here.
Yeah, I felt that come out. But as soon as I said to myself, oh man. But it's all good, because I will say, when I woke up the day of my birthday, I was like, man, I wish I was on a cruise. So at the end of the day, we're gonna have to start looking up some places to go. Like, we're gonna have to, but we will do that. We will do that. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. We would greatly appreciate it. You get to join the fun, you get to join the family, and you get to get this information all at the same time. And so I'm gonna go through the parts that we will answer, okay? And I'm gonna just start off with this part because I thought it was very nice. Y'all are one of my favorite vloggers. My family is, so thank you. Thank you for that. You know what I'm saying? We love it. We love the kind words.
Yes.
We love all of the sentiments, right? And so, boom shakalaka, thank you for that. Here it is. My family is planning a 2-week trip to Johannesburg at the end of March. So, time is a ticket.
Right around the corner.
That's right around the corner at the end of the day. And this is our first overseas vacation with our 10-year-old and 11-year-old sons. So the assumption is it's a mother and father, because she did say our. Yes. And they have a 10-year-old son and 11-year-old son. And here we go. I would greatly appreciate any tips you have for family travel in Johannesburg. And so specifically, talks about family-friendly hotel recommendations. Do some properties have generators or backup plans for load shedding? And so I know you said you wanted to start with the airport.
Yes.
Okay. So before you even get to your hotel accommodations,
when it comes to traveling, especially traveling with children, I would say have one person hold all the passports. That is, it makes life easy.
That is true.
So have one person that is designated, whether it's the mom or the dad, that holds all of everyone's passports. And then as soon as you get in the car to leave the house, make sure you have all the passports.
Yes.
Count all of them.
We do passport checks before we take off to go to the airport. Passport check. And not just do you have it, but let me see them.
And that one person should be able to pull out all four. So make sure everybody has the passports. I personally like to line them up like kind of age-wise, so you just know. But, you know, that's being real specific. And then when you get to the airport and everything, have a designated person that's just going to talk to the check-in person. That's going to show them all of the passports. Make sure everybody's standing right there so they can give that smile while they're checking the passports. And then you get them back. And then when you go through security, do all the things you have to show them the passports again, you get them back. The only time that designated person doesn't have the passports is when they're showing them to the official. And then again, that's what helps with having them in order, because then that person is able to be right there and say, so if Rickey hands me my passport, I'm like, yep, I'm right here. Close it, give it right back to Rickey. Right. So, and then have them in a designated spot that you always put them. You can have a lot of different bags, carry-ons, all these things. Pick one zipper.
Yeah.
That all the passports go in every single time.
Yeah.
It just makes life so much easier.
Right.
And then you may be on having to fill out forms and stuff on the plane. I think you do it per family when you're coming to Johannesburg. So again, you'll need all of that information. One zipper, all the passports. Every time.
Hello. And I love the idea of like starting before you get here. And one of the things that I would say is to come with a bag right? Whether it's a satchel or, you know, people wear fanny packs across their chest, like, or a book bag, but come with a bag in hand or with you that you can take and travel with you wherever you go, whether it's to the safari or to the mall or wherever, whatnot. But it's always good to have a bag with you. And I also recommend you to bring and come with a converter. Whereas in, I mean, you're American, right? So you have like the American plugs and things like that. And not all hotels will have the adapters for you, right? Or the USB ports and things like that. But having one like this, right? This is what ours looks like. 3-prong, boom shakalaka. And then you have the USB plug, and you have 3 like outlet situations. And I'll put a link in the description for Amazon, because that's where I purchased this from, so that you can do the same thing. But make sure you come with that. Make sure you come with a book bag. And I would say to at least come with like $200 in rand, because it's 4 of you all for 2 weeks. So, you know, I would say like $100 a week would be good, because at the end of the day, you're really only used the cash for tipping and miscellaneous type things. Maybe you want souvenirs when you're out and about, but that'd be good. And I would, with that, I would say like get smaller denominations, so like 20 rands. Like don't come with a bunch of like 200. You know what I'm saying? Your rands and 200s. Get the 20s and the 50s, and I think you'll be good. The 10s, you know, I find myself trying to use the 10s, but I think the 20s and the 50s.
If you're tipping, or if you're out buying some of the trinkets or things, maybe then.
Boom shakalaka. And so there's that. But then also people look, when they get here, they look for sunscreen. People like, you know, we have friends that were just here. They asked us for sunscreen because they were going out to a safari. I don't think we had any, but that was just us. But nonetheless, those are some things that I would recommend you to bring with you. People may put other things in the comments that would be very helpful, because we can all learn and grow from this particular video.
And I was gonna say, and I love what you said about the bag, and I would definitely even lean towards a crossbody bag that can go to the front, just for security purposes, especially, you know, if you're carrying around your passports, you want them in the front.
Yeah.
At all times.
Yeah, I got a front one. I got a, well, I got like a, it's called a messenger tote. Every now and then, they'll try to call me out talking about a man purse, but no, it's a messenger tote that I picked up. That was what it said, and so that's what gave me the comfortability to go ahead and purchase it. But nonetheless, boom shakalaka is there. It's that. And the last thing I would recommend as well is to have a card, right? Credit card that doesn't have foreign transaction fees, and I believe that'll do you well. You'll be able to use that pretty much everywhere, and you'll be good to go, because you won't be charged the transaction fees and all of that.
Yes, and I know you said this is your first time traveling internationally, so make sure you call your card and let them know we're traveling internationally to Johannesburg, South Africa. Let them know how long you'll be here, so that then your card isn't getting like declined, and now you're trying to make these phone calls and fees and all that type of stuff. Make sure that you let your card company know that you're traveling internationally. And since you're letting people know, let your phone company know as well. Because they also will either not allow for you to use your phone because you're internationally, or you're international, or they will. And so, boom, let them know. Well, and normally they have an international plan. Correct. Every service provider normally has an international plan. The benefit in calling them ahead of time is to make sure that you're only paying the best rate while you're using your phone internationally. But there's plenty of Wi-Fi all over Johannesburg, so you definitely could also be here without ever having to use your phone off of Wi-Fi, depending on how you're traveling around.
Correct, which we'll talk about that. So, boom shakalaka, you got a lot of great tips. Hopefully you caught them all. And now we'll get into your specific question about family-friendly hotel recommendations. And so, where we stay, it also has, so at Santon Hotel, I believe, is a phenomenal hotel, great staff. And why would it be family friendly? Because they have 2 restaurants within the hotel. There's also a deli at the bottom. There's a laundry service as well. And I mean, there's a pool, there's a gym, and there's also a play area that your kids probably won't play it because they're 10 and 11, but they'll be able to go to the pool. Right, it's there. If your kids like doing, they wouldn't fit. They're 10 and 11. No. But at the end of the day, there's a playground for them, and it's also like walkable. Like that's another thing. You're able to walk about into other areas outside of the hotel, and I think that's very convenient and fun. And so that's one of my recommendations, as well as Voco. We love Voco. So at Santon is in Santon, it's in the name, but then Voco Hotel is in Rosebank, which I love Rosebank. We love Rosebank because it was the first place that we stayed when we visited for the first time. Why is it family friendly, as you asked for? It's because they have breakfast that you can get in the morning. That's phenomenal. Like, I'm sure your sons like to eat, and so they can order as much food as they want for breakfast, and it will be inclusive.
You can pick the inclusive option.
So pick it. Right? Don't get the hotel without the breakfast inclusive option.
I don't even think it was an extra $5 to include the
Boom
breakfast.
shakalaka. Do it, and you'll be happy that you did. But even with that hotel, there's surrounding areas around it. There's the arcade, there's the bowling alley, there's the mall that's right there with the movie theaters. Like, so many different things that are just right there, walkable outside of the Voco, that you'll be excited that you even stayed there and enjoy yourself while being there. And even at Santon Hotel, you can do a meal plan and a meal package as well, inclusive with your room. So, you know, those are some things in which I would say those hotels are family friendly, and they do have backup. I know you're about to say that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
And they do have backup generators for load shedding. Very nice areas, and so that is in a part of it. So much so that when we came to the Voco for the first time, we stepped into the elevator. Load shedding took place. The elevator went black. Chrystle was like, "Hold on, what's going on?" I said, "Oh, I think this is load shedding. I read about this." And but it kicked back on, right? It didn't last but 10-15 seconds, and boom, it kicks back on, and you're good to go from there. Hot water and all, so all is well. Now the next question is advice on hiring Uber drivers or renting a car with kids. So I'll let you talk about the Uber driver.
Yeah, I only Uber Black.
Yeah.
I just feel like, and part of the reason is I feel like people have said like, oh, their Uber driver didn't really show up, or their Uber driver like would be near them but not right at them, like, and they trying to get them to walk to where they were and whatever. Uber Black, okay? Just Uber Black. Have peace of mind in Uber Black, because they always make sure they come to where you are. And I feel like, anyways, you're international, and I've never heard of like something wild happening to somebody in an Uber. I've never heard of that, but you are international, and I always just say better just use even more precaution, and the price difference is maybe like $3. So just Uber Black, Uber Black.
There it is. I knew she was gonna say that, so I let her say it.
You knew I was gonna say Uber Black. We've not hired a car service. Some people do.
Some people do.
And also some people even talk to their Uber driver and get like their phone number to connect. Like if they have a really good experience with them, bringing them from the airport or whatever, they'll say, hey, can I use you more in my trip? And they'll give you their number as long as you pay, and it works. So I know people have done that as well. So, and a lot of times people, if you're Ubering further out to like a safari or something somewhere, a lot of times the Uber will also wait for you there. They don't mind waiting for you to finish, and then they will also bring you back.
There it is. And to Chrystle's point, we haven't hired any car driving services. However, if you do know any, let us know in the comment section below, so that this family and other families can vet out which one is ideal or best for them.
Yes.
Well, we did do a hire service that when we moved here through the Real South Africa, we hired a service through them that allowed for a van company to pick us up from the airport and bring us to the hotel. So we did do that. It was a great experience, and so that is an option as well. Definitely want to throw that out there. But then you say renting a car with kids, and I think that's a phenomenal way to see about the city and things like that. It depends on how much you want to do. I think that will decide or determine whether or not you want to Uber or if you want to rent a car, because Ubering is very inexpensive here compared to the States, and so that flexibility is there. But then if you're trying to do things far and out and actively, then of course renting a car will be ideal and it'll be yours. And so just be mindful that when you do rent a hotel, that you do have a parking spot and, you know, all of that stuff in your agreement, and you'll be good to go.
And that's what I was gonna say as well. And also know most places that you go, you will have to pay for parking. If you go to the mall or anything like that, you do have to. It's very minimal, the cost, but you will have to pay for parking. And then also just keep in mind they drive on the opposite side of the road, and the steering wheel is on the opposite side of the road. So you can navigate it. Ricky and I drive here. We probably started driving here within, I don't know, a week of moving here. You sooner than that, but me, within a week of us moving here, I started driving. So also that's just something to keep in mind if you will feel comfortable to drive, knowing they do drive on the opposite side of the road.
And I think that's very good, because my first time doing so, driving on the other side of the road, opposite side, was in the Bahamas. And so this wasn't and isn't our first international trip. So I say that to say, it probably would do you benefit to not drive the first week. If you were to drive a car, maybe drive it the second week after the first week, sitting in the Uber car and being attentive to how and people are driving and the rules of the road, and looking at lights and looking at when lights go out, or looking at the way taxis drive, or look the way everybody drives. I think that'll give you that point of comfortability to say, okay, the next week I'll drive, or maybe the last 4 days I'll drive. But I think Ubering, you'll be good unless you're trying to do things far off from where you're staying, then boom shakalaka. But we always rented cars from the airport. I will say that. I took the HOW train to the airport and did the rental process, and then drove the car back. And so, you know, in it all, I'm willing to ride with you if you need that assistance to go to the airport and things like that. I'll be here.
And I was just gonna say too, but if you are doing something far out, a lot of times the different safaris and stuff will have a service attached to them that will pick you up from in the city to take you out. So if you don't want to drive, you can still do those things. You can just see on the different websites what service you can book that includes them picking you up and bringing you back.
Boom shakalaka. Next one is suggestions for kid-friendly restaurants and activities. Okay, so this is fun, and I will say, in all of the questions that we're answering, definitely feel free to answer in the comment section if you know of some answers that we don't say. However, to Chrystle's point, you're right. There's so many kid-friendly restaurants and activities that can be done in Johannesburg, which is why we love Johannesburg so much, because obviously we're here with our kids, and so all that we do is with our kids.
Right.
And so, man, kid-friendly restaurants, okay? So, but you have 10 and 11-year-olds.
This is what I was going to say to put it in context.
Yeah.
So, because your kids are 10 and 11, I don't think you're necessarily looking for places like Ricky and I that has like the little playgrounds and stuff.
Right.
I would say your expectation can be you can take your kids to any restaurant.
Okay. I like that.
All the restaurants, they're used to having kids there.
Yeah.
There's only one restaurant that we went to that was really like an adult date night kind of thing, and that was the Signature restaurant.
Gotcha.
But even we know somebody that took their 5-year-old with them when they went, and they just sat them in a different area. Like, so I would say you're fine to take your kids literally anywhere.
Yeah.
They're very family friendly environment. Some of the places that we talk about that we love it because they have, you know, ball pits and slides and stuff that your kids may not particularly want to do.
Right.
I do think the Spur has like some arcade games.
Yeah, Spur. I would recommend Spur and Papacino's.
Yeah, Papacino's
had a soccer field area, cricket field area, basketball goals, and I think those are things that your 10 and 11-year-olds would love to do. But not only did you ask for restaurants, but you also asked for activities. And so activity-wise, I would recommend you to go to Northgate Mall. Again, Northgate Mall. And in Northgate Mall, you can do ice skating, you can do Total Ninja
One of
Warrior.
my favorite things.
That's it. And there's a movie theater as well. But all of this is at one mall. And Total Ninja Warrior, we did a vlog on that, so you can check that out. But at the end of the day, like, those are some different things that you could do. And then there are spaces like at Rosebank Mall and another, like 3 other malls. Mall of Africa has it as well, but like a go-kart situation in the parking lot. And so those are available for the 10 and 11-year-olds and up, and I think that'd be fun for them.
Yeah, and I was gonna say also Bounce there's this place called Bounce, and it's like a trampoline park.
Yep.
That's really fun.
Yep.
And then
which is at Mall of Africa, or you can do it at Four Ways Mall.
Yeah, Four Ways also has
Mall of Africa is new though.
Yes, that's a brand, like a new one.
Yeah.
And then you can also do some outside things like the waterfall, the Walter Sisulu waterfall. So that's a fun little like nature thing to be able to go to. They can see the waterfall. It's not too taxing to go and do that. Yeah, that's something I know. I was like, the kids they liked it. They were like, oh, this is nice. It's a waterfall. So that was something that was fun.
I thought you were gonna say the putt-putt golf, because Chrystle loved the putt-putt golf.
The putt-putt was really fun.
I think that's in like Edenville or something like that.
Yeah.
I'll put a link in the description for that one. Very fun, huge putt-putt scenario. So there's that. But then again, those are all like things that we would be accustomed to doing, even that you could do in the States. So there are also safaris and things that you can do as well that are kid friendly, because I mean they're used to tourists from all around the world. And so there's that. But also Sun City, a lot of people highly recommend to go to Sun City, which we do look to go to with the kids being on holiday coming up. And so there's that will be fun for the kids. And then there's a theater, right? Johannesburg theater. I mean, there's quite a few things. There's a hop-on, hop-off tour. I think will be great for them to get an understanding of Johannesburg itself. But then you can also do it where you can go into Soweto with a tour guide. So there's that beauty. You can see Nelson Mandela's home. And I mean, there's quite a few things like skating. We've done skating. Like
in the casinos, there's arcades.
Correct. Monte Casino, specifically. I would recommend Monte Casino.
Yeah, I would say that one over the other arcade.
Over Emperor's Palace that we went to. But you have the same things. You have the arcade. You have a bowling alley. You have a movie theater. You have restaurants. You have food court. And you can even stay there, right? And so there's so many things. So all the things that you can do in the States, you can do here. Laser tag as well. There's laser tag in those places. And so boom, there's that. But then if they want safari, if they want the Sun City, if they want Gold Reef City, which is an amusement park, you can do that. There's also water parks as well. And so there's so many different things that you can do that you may be telling your kids, we're not doing something today. We're gonna rest today. You know what I'm saying? We did something yesterday, because there's so many different things that could be done. And so hopefully, not only did we answer the question and giving you a list of things, but then there's also people in the comment section giving answers as well. And then last question is, any other guidance to make this an enjoyable, stress-free trip for our boys? So first off, shouts out to you and your husband or your spouse for desiring to have a great experience, right? But then also with the kids in mind. I think that's very favorable and commendable to you all as parents, from parents to parents, thinking of your children, thinking of your sons. But if there's any other advice or things to make it enjoyable, stress-free, I believe we said the things that would make that to be the case. But then as well, I would say for them to make sure they come with like jackets. Because you may be thinking like we thought, we're going to Africa, it's going to be hot all the time. Well, not always the case, right? Because there's days where it's warm, it's cold, it rains, it hails all in the same day. Or maybe it doesn't hail in that day, but it may be warm, cold, and rainy in a day. And so make sure you have that. If they're into rain boots, make sure they bring those, because the rain could take place at any time. But then
if they're coming at the end of March, I think they'll be going into autumn or fall.
Okay.
So think about how is the weather in fall, you know, where you're from. I don't know exactly where you're from, but I would say like fall weather for Georgia, maybe. Think about it like that. So kind of on the cooler end. So definitely thinking about that. And I mean, I don't know how electronically restricted your sons are, but maybe you want to bring their systems, right? Their gaming systems or whatnot, so they'll be at peace. I mean, every child is different. And so there's that. But then as well, I would recommend you to have a battery pack for your phone, because you may be out and about for a long period of time in that day. You need to plug in to recharge your phone. So that would be useful. I'll put a link down below for that on Amazon, so you can have that. But then, I mean, outside of those things, well, I was gonna say also one of the things you can do to help with the time adjustment is whenever your flight is, try to make sure you sleep when it would be nighttime in Johannesburg.
Yeah.
So that then when you land, you're awake. Like, just try to reset your mind when you're on your flights. Even if you have to force yourself to go to sleep when it seems like, oh man, it's 7 in the morning. Like, try to adjust your body to the appropriate sleep time zone for where you're coming to, so that then you're able to kind of like not have to spend the first 3 days trying to adjust to the new time zone that you're in. Really, as much as you can reset on the plane, the more comfortable they'll be once they get here.
I totally agree. And even with that, as you're watching movies on a plane, I personally recommend you to have headphones. Like, bring your own headphones. Don't rely on the headphones, the free ones that they give you, because they're free for a reason. And so definitely have some headphones that you can plug in, and they will give you like eye covers and things like that. So that's taken care of. But then also know on your plane right here, there's snacks if you fly in Delta. There's snacks in the back that you can always help yourself to. I find those to be very helpful and useful because I love snacks. I love snacking, and I'm sure your sons will as well for this long flight that they'll be on for the first time. But it's not a bad flight. Yes, it's long in time, but it's definitely manageable in activities through the movies and eating through the food and drinks that you can have throughout the flight itself. All you have to do is ask, right? But then outside of that, my last advice I would give to make it stress-free is that you pack like maybe 2 outfits in a carry-on that you take on the plane with you, just in case, right? Luggage may come up missing. It happens to some people. It hasn't happened to us flying to Johannesburg. It's happened for Chrystle when we flew to Kenya once. And
it showed up. It wasn't like stolen and missing forever.
Correct.
Like, I got it like the next day.
Correct.
So correct.
But I always pack like 2 outfits in my carry-on luggage, and I would as well with that pack some snacks. You know your children, you know what they like, and maybe they can't find the exact thing here. Maybe they'll find something like it, but we know something like a thing isn't the thing.
Right.
And so bring their snacks, right? They love trolleys, gummy worms, bring that. I haven't found them just now, but I love them. So I'm sure, your children may as well, but pack those things, and everybody be happy at the end of the day. And I mean, you'll enjoy yourself, you'll eat good at a great price, and it'll be hard for you to say bye at the end of the 2 weeks.
Yeah, I would say like the travel is going to be the thing that will mostly, the different tips that we gave to make it like really stress-free and stuff, because honestly, once you're here, it's a very comfortable place to be in. So I'm sure your hotel will have air conditioning and Wi-Fi and all of the things that you would be used to having on a normal vacation. So it should be fine. I would focus on making the travel as comfortable as possible. I give the kids gum to chew while we're taking off and landing, because their ears could be popping, like some of those usual things. But once you get to Johannesburg, it's very comfortable. They will be fine.
Hello. And in the realm, since this is your thing, not my thing, but in the realms of travel, as direct as your flight can be, take the most direct flight, okay?
Well, I'm sure they booked if they're coming in about 2 weeks.
I hope for the next person. I hope for the next person. Like, doing a bunch of stops isn't ideal, especially with kids. But just like get to your destination, and it'd be so much better. So it's essentially like from us, we flew from Tampa to Atlanta to Johannesburg. We could have flew to London, somewhere else, but it wasn't ideal. But at the end of the day, you're right.
All that luggage and stuff.
Yeah. But you made a point. Valid point. They're coming at the end of March, so I'm sure the tickets are already booked. But at the end of the day, now you know some options of where to stay, and hopefully we'll be here. We'll be around to be able to greet you, to meet you, and to possibly have you on the channel. So at the end of the day, great people, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for helping, adding to the information that was shared and given to this lovely family. But then as well, know that if you have any questions, you could definitely email us, and we'll look to either email you back with a response or make a video out of it, just as we did today. So until next time, make sure you subscribe to the channel, click that thumbs up as well and share it with a friend so that they too can make their trip over to Johannesburg or anywhere abroad. Until next time, great people, we love you all. Peace.